What's up Airsofters, my name is Stefan, aka Pacifics, and today we are going to talk about the AUG, which is in front of me. It's in parts, because it doesn't work at this time. It's been a project of mine for a couple months now, and it hasn't been shooting for a couple months now. So yeah, and today we are going to talk about this AUG. It's been in pieces, it is in pieces, it's not working. But Perun has done something very cool, and that's the reason why it's not intact yet, because, well, the gearbox shoots full auto in semi, and once I pull the trigger it doesn't stop. So I'm going to remove the trigger and install a MOSFET and just have it work on here. And how does that work? I'm gonna get to that right now. Perun released a AUG MOSFET 6 days ago. At least they released a sheet about it on their Facebook page, but no one has noticed it, and I haven't seen any post on it on YouTube. Let me Google it. I'm gonna type in AUG AUG. Oh, up there. So no one has uploaded yet, and I don't know why. But this is actually a very cool topic, and maybe I'll hit up some other YouTubers about it to see what they know of it. But I have had some contact with Perun, and they have provided me with a sheet to read through it. So that's what we're going to do very soon. But first we're going to read the Facebook page. So I'm just gonna read the plain text and hope I'm not going to get copyrighted. So this fall, our two new products, drop-in MOSFETs for P90 and AUG, will start appearing in shops. Features: 2-stage trigger based on magnetic sensors with adjustable sensitivity. The trigger bar linking trigger with gearbox goes away, so no more weird clunky feeling in your trigger. So that's very cool. The P90 MOSFET comes with a custom cutoff lever, which works with optical cycle detection sensors. Selectable firing mode: semi-binary, semi-auto, semi-burst, burst, and auto. So that's very cool. It's programmable. And all the other expected features like electronic fuse, pre-cocking, adjustable AB, that's active braking, yeah. And many others are there. Very cool. Okay, that's it for now, for this one. Now we're going over to the sheet that Jakub sent me when I asked for it. So I was working on this and asked Jakub if there was a MOSFET, and he warned me not to rewire it to a V3 MOSFET or another existing MOSFET. So he gave me a heads up, which I'm very thankful for, because otherwise I wouldn't have the chance to install the actual AUG MOSFET. So that's very cool of you. Thank you, Jakub. So yeah, we're going over to the sheet that Jakub sent me. The Perun for AUG. Perun for AUG can work with any rep class, including high-tuned. Compatible gearboxes and gears, basically anything Tokyo Marui based. Perun works with the gear set including DSG, TSG, short stroke, helical, non-helical, and with any ratio. That's very cool. Electronic fuse, the battery connected type is T-plug, Dienst, that's very cool. So you don't have to rewire if you use Dienst. That's also their standard, I believe. So. Standby current consumption is it consumes 1.5 milliamps of current. That's normal, but it can deplete your battery. Brushless motors. Perun for AUG works with BLDC motors like Option, NO1 or Warhead. Rate of fire reduction feature must not be activated when these motors are used, because they don't have brushes and they can't actually break like that. So. How does it work? Perun for AUG uses optical and magnetic sensors. Sector gear detection is with a LED diode that works as a barrier switch. When sensor and diode cannot see each other, it means that the sector gear cutoff cam is between them. Perun AUG is using information whether the... Okay, so this is the part that actually goes into the gearbox. Cool. I hope this works, because I don't know if it's my cutoff lever that's the problem. So I hope it works. I think it does. Yeah, it's probably my trigger that's the problem, and you don't need the trigger, so that's very cool. I can completely remove the trigger and, you know, keep the cutoff lever in there. Trigger. Perun for AUG is provided with an additional external circuit board for the trigger that is installed near the trigger and connected with a cable to the main board, fastened to the gearbox. So basically what you have here is your trigger that moves. Oh, I don't actually have my selector switch in here, so that's not handy. But once you pull semi, it goes like this, and once you pull full auto, it goes like this. And the trigger board that's going to be on here will be recognizing that, so that's very cool. So yeah, and you can select the parameters when programming it, and we'll get to that very soon. Safety switch. The safety switch position is not directly detected by the MOSFET. Safe mode is provided by the safety switch mechanically blocking the trigger. So it's in there, like the actual gun. So it has no electronical safety. Well, maybe you can program that, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, it doesn't have a safety in the safety position. It just blocks the trigger from pulling it. Firing mode. The AUG has no selector. Different firing modes are accessible by short or long trigger pulls, like in the original. So short, long. But the modes that you are firing with, so first fire mode and second fire mode, are programmable. Removal of the trigger bar. You won't be needing a trigger bar that runs from the back. So you won't have that weird gap between firing. Firing in semi is actually firing in semi, so you don't have a leverage, or no, there's no leverage between the trigger and the trigger bar and the trigger itself. It's directly on here. It's directly detected when you do like this. So installation process we will leave for another time, because I'm actually going to be installing it on this and we will go through that together. So yeah. But there are a few parts going to be removed. Trigger and trigger bar. And then the MOSFET is going to be dropped in. The trigger calibration is by entering the programming mode with a switch that is on the back, I believe, if I'm correct. You will ensure that the first and second trace is blah, blah, blah. Enter the programming mode. Go to the trigger calibration featuring the LED. So you push the button on the back. I'm right. Am I right? There isn't a picture of the second one. I believe it's a button, yeah. On here it's a green button because it's still the prototype, but yeah. A green button. So yeah. Enter the programming mode, go to the trigger calibration feature. The LED is blinking violet and blue alternatively. Pull and hold the trigger for a few seconds to start the trigger calibration. The LED should be emitting white blinking light now. Switch the selector to safe and pull the trigger as hard as you can so it detects how far it can go. It is necessary because it tells the unit how far the trigger can travel. And basically you do the same for every other position. While still holding the trigger and applying force to it, press the button on the control board. There should be a beep and the LED color should change to blue. Release the trigger. Select the fire. Pull the trigger and stop on the second stage trigger brake. Hold the trigger there. Press the button on the control board. There should be a beep and the LED color should change to red. Release the trigger. Pull the trigger all the way and hold it. Press the button on the control board, then there should be a long beep and the LED should shine green for a couple of seconds. Settings have been changed and saved, and the trigger is calibrated. So that's really cool. You also have adaptive trigger control. So I don't know what that means. It has the same features as the V3 and the V2. So you have firing mode, semi-binary, semi-auto, semi-burst, and burst auto. You have burst count, you have active braking, you have pre-cocking, you have trigger sensitivity for first stage and trigger sensitivity for the second stage, rate of fire reduction, LiPo and Lion alarm, DSG. Yeah, the function can be enabled when dual selector gears used to provide better pre-cocking control. No sound signal while lit. Okay, cool. But we're not using a DSG, we're using a full size gear on mine. Trigger calibration, which we just went through, and a master reset, which is also normal. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's all going to be in here, and it's going to be just as easy to install as a normal V2 unit. Well, it's been going to be just as easy, it just takes a little more steps because you need to run the wire to the back, install a board on here, in the gearbox, and on the back. But that's fine, because now I'm saying it like some kind of Homelander. Anyway, it's all going to be in here, and I'm very excited. And I can't wait. I really can't wait, because I want to shoot this thing again. I have my other replica, my G&G GC16, the old school one. I don't know, maybe it has a CM16 body. I'm not sure, but that's over there. That's the only one that's still working, and I have the AAP that I'm still working on. So I'm gonna finish the AAP, and yeah. So that's basically it for today, and I'm gonna leave it with that. And I'm gonna send this video to some other YouTubers and hope they pick up on it, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.